And before I get into this topic, I just want to take a moment to thank all of my supporters and everyone for supporting my YouTube channel. You know, my channel is 6 years old, and I'm just thrilled to death in the direction God is taking my channel. So with that being said, let's get on down to today's lecture, which is how to write a check. You know, I enjoy doing my how-to videos, so the focus of this lecture is going to be how to write a check. And I'm going to go into step-by-step detail on how to do it, because, you know, I'm here to tell you, you know, there are so many people, especially a lot of millennium babies, who do not have the basic skills to write a check, to fill out a money order, and this is just basic life skills 101. And in order to know how to write a check, first you need a checking account. Yes, you need a checking account. And I still write checks. I have always ordered me checks when I'm for my that going along with my checking account. And I'm telling you, there's you can write bills. You can pay all your bills by writing a check. You can write a check to yourself, you know, because I have a couple of different bank accounts, and many times or I will go to one of my different banks, and I will literally write a check to myself and deposit that check into that other checking account. And in basic skills in terms of writing a check, on that check, any check from a bank, you know, if you ordered your checkbook, there's an area on here where it says pay to the order of. Pay to the order of, there's a line, and you're gonna write on that line on who that you are paying, writing this check to. And rather it's to pay a bill, or if you're writing a check to yourself, then your name is going to go on that line, Marie Holiday. In the next area on this check, there's an area on here where you have to document the amount for the check. Rather it's $100, $200, or $200, $250.52. So you're going to have to literally write in $250.50, the number value on this check. On that second line, and this is where a lot of people get confused. On the second line, say if you put the dollar amount of the check is $250. On that second line, then you're going to have to literally, with your penmanship, completely write out the word $250. If it's an even $250, you're going to literally write that out, and then it's going to be $250, and you're going to take that line all the way to the end, so they can see the numeric value, and they can see the handwritten value of the $250. On the bottom left of this check, there's an area on this check where it says for. So if I'm writing this check to pay a bill, for a light bill, for your mortgage or whatever, or for self. If I'm writing a check for myself, in the area where it says for, I'm going to go ahead and write my name down again, Marie Holiday, because I'm writing the check to myself. On the far right of this check, there's an area for you to sign your name in a cursive. It ain't asking you to print. No, you have got to sign your John Hancock. And you would be surprised of the amount of people in this world, because the parents didn't teach them how to write a cursive. They're going to be stuck there. They want a signed signature, legible on that check. So that's where I'm going to go. Even if I'm writing it to myself, I'm going to sign Marie Holiday. And if I'm writing it to myself and I'm presenting it to my different bank, on the reverse side of the check, on the reverse side of the check, if you're writing it to yourself, there's an area on here where you got to endorse. Endorse is interchangeable with a signature. You have got to sign on that area of the reverse side of the check. And those are the steps. You know, like I say, I still write checks for many business purposes. I write checks to myself. And with my bank, anytime I write a check, I like it because at the end of the month, my bank is going to send me a printout of scan. They're going to scan all my checks, and they're going to put in my statement at the end of the month all of the checks that I have written. And that's an excellent way to also reconcile your bank statement. And this is a powerful skill, people, because I'm telling you, you know, I've had conversations with a clerk at a post office, and it was a couple of times I had to buy a money order. You need those same skills. You got to know how to fill out that money order. With the same skills that you're using to fill out a check, you got to be able to have those same skills to fill out a money order. So I went to the post office to get a couple of money orders a couple of weeks ago. So, and I didn't think anything of it. Went in, I bought the money order. And as the clerk was handing me the money order, he paused. And he asked me, now, do you need for me to explain to you in detail how to fill this money order out? I said, what do you mean? No, it's self-explanatory. I don't need, no, I know how to fill a money order out. And the reason why he asked me that, because he was saying at least 3 or 4 times a month, when individuals will come in and purchase a money order from the post office, they will ask him, can you show me how to fill it out? They don't have the skills to even know how to fill out a money order. That's sad. And there's still a place in this world, in many situations, where you are going to have to sign documents. I'm not talking about no electronic signature. No, there are going to be many types of business transactions when you make, especially a large purchases, car, house, etc. You are going to have the skills to sign your name. Basic life skills 101. You need the skills to know how to appropriately fill out a check. Basic life skills 101. You're going to need the skills to know how to fill out a money order. I don't care where we get in the world of technology, you're going to have to be able to fall back on those basic skills 101, because of all this technology stuff and people swiping everything. That's how folks are getting their life savings in their bank account wiped out, because they're pulling farther and farther away from life skills. Real talk, people. You know, you hear about it all the time. You know, people are getting their life savings stolen. They're getting their homes stolen. Their pension stolen, because they're relying too much on that AI and technology. It's nothing wrong with old school having the skills to know how to fill out a check, to have a check. It's a time and place for it. And one checkbook lasts me for a while, but there's many occasions where I find myself having to write a check. Real talk, people. So share this information. You know, my spirit has been pulling at me to do a lecture on how to write a check. Hype this video. Check out my other how-to videos in my playlist. It is literally titled How To. I did a recent how-to video on how to turn raw land into a livable habitat. You know, I'm living on 15 acres of land. I have escaped the matrix, and of the 15 acres, I had 1 acre of the 15 acre developed and cultivated, and I set up my own little tiny home out here, my well and everything. I have escaped the matrix, people. Real talk. But you got to have skills First of all, you got to own the land. There we go. Let's back up a little bit. You got to own the land. You got to own the property before you can cultivate. And I did a lecture on how I did that, how to cultivate raw land into your livable habitat. And it's a lot of behind the scene logistics with that, because it's good that you own the land. And if you own the land, what are you going to do with it? Real talk. So check out those other how-to videos in my playlist. Share this lecture, hype this lecture. I want to thank everyone for listening in. I want to thank all of my supporters, and I want to most importantly thank God in regards to the knowledge and the skills and the ability He gives me to impart this knowledge onto the world. Simplify, Simple Fidelis, and I'm going to leave you in the care of your own conscience. Have a great day.